Good morning. I wish we had the mics on a few minutes ago when you'd have heard me going off about stupidity. But maybe Chris will get me going on that again.
That can be in your next Inside the Hex. That's for members only. They get to see all that stuff.
No, I'll lay it on you today. I give that to everybody. We need to train people, teach behavior here of acting like a civilized human instead of acting like we owe him something. This freaking one-sided transaction crap. We're not in a transaction. We're in a relationship here. And if you're my buddy and you're talking to me like that, I'm going to punch you in the head. You're not going to be my buddy anymore. It's freaking stupid. So anyway, what's going on, people? I just bombarded the Facebook group with all kinds of posts, getting all excited. Posted up a short clip of Michelle and I's initial conversation. I've convinced her to sit down and talk through our life story together and how that pertains to obsession. And so I made a post. So my intent is to take the detail, or I guess not the detail, but the summary of what's inside the membership group and put it inside of the Facebook group. So you'll get a 4 or 5. I don't know. Somehow Bryce made it 12 minutes, but it should be 4 or 5 minutes. Five minutes of a summary to kind of convince you to go and give me some money, to convince you to go and become a member, and hopefully I don't lose $50K on this darn 1M.
Yeah, so the video with you and Michelle, the whole thing is what, 57-ish minutes?
Yeah.
I think I saw.
Yeah, but the whole series will probably be 3 or 4 episodes of an hour at a time.
Gotcha.
And so the idea is to give you the little bit and then get you to go become a member. But the main purpose of me doing that in the group, I've been saying this for a while, I haven't participated in it as much as I used to, because I've kind of been building this whole membership thing out, building out this platform to where what I want to do is I want to convince other people to share more of their story, because I'm convinced that your next employee, your next job, your next best friend, your next dude to go and vet a car across the country before you buy it, the next person that you're going to show up at something and meet is in that group. You can never want for another employee, another job, another anything. It'll be a place where you can buy stuff from people. You can find your next State Farm agent, your next attorney, your next doctor, everybody that you would want to serve you or be friends with you is in that group. And so I want to promote that in various posts over the next year or so to get the group moving toward that, where there's such fruit that if you make yourself known, like Jim Black, and I convinced him last year to start sharing the process of building his home. And shoot, he had like 6 or 7 people he never met before come and stay with him at his new home that he met through the group by sharing his story. And for him it was, well, should I share this? Because some people are going to misconstrue this as, flaunting or showing off, when I'm sure he's gained some perspective. Some people have helped him through some of the thought process as he's shared the process of building the home, and then he's inspired a lot of other people. And then, again, he's made friends from putting himself out there and sharing that detail. So I'm so grateful for people that do that. But I find that the fruit that I get from sharing information and letting people into my life, or just sharing something that's unique that I know that maybe others didn't, and doing that eloquently and typing it up and maybe proofreading it and putting a few photos or a video really is powerful. And so my intent is to share clips from the membership program in the Facebook group. I'm sure the byproduct of it is some people will go and sign up to become a member, so that'll help me help justify the time that I'm spending to do it. But the main purpose of it is to and hopefully foster this more sharing from people in the group of their life and their experience, and then the fruits from that will be really powerful, I think, for each person that invests the time in doing that. You'll sell your stuff. This was my argument not too long ago when I battled the people in the group about hawking their crap, posting links to their junk. You don't have to do that if you just you build a reputation, you build up a following of people. If Jim Black had something to sell, people would probably buy it. He would never even have to tell anybody about it. They would figure it out. They would find him. And so that's the long game. That's the way to build a brand around yourself rather than just hawking your crap. So that's what I'm working toward, and I know it'll work. So that's the goal.
So that video was posted just before this started, right?
Correct.
So
Yep.
In the Facebook group, if you want to check that out, it should be towards the top. Let's see. Today is July the 11th. It's been 2 weeks. There was no podcast last week. It was the 4th of July on Thursday. Then the week before that is when you had Rick on.
Oh, was it the week before that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Rick was on the week before that. But today is Slurpee Day. It's 7-Eleven. So in case you haven't been to 7-Eleven yet on your way in, it's free Slurpee Day.
It's freaking stupid. Why is there a day for this? Is dumb.
Because it's 7-Eleven. That's the date. July 11th, 7-Eleven. So they have a free Slurpee. So
the fact that you even know that makes you think very much less of you.
Well,
why would anybody know or care about that?
I did the research for you. The closest one to here is 8.2 miles away in Leesburg. So
I'm not allowed to Slurpee.
After
Michelle
the podcast.
has me on a very strict platform.
Yeah. We had a couple questions about that. How is nutrition?
Not good.
No.
My lady flaked on me, and then I fell off. I'm like a crack fiend that got back on it. I was doing coke and crack at the same time. I'm like eating Oreos while I'm mixing up strawberry milk. And then next thing you know, I'm squirting the strawberry syrup on the Oreo.
Oh man!
And then the next thing you know, I'm just shotgunning the strawberry syrup. Forget the milk. Oh man, yeah, I'm back up to 240 again.
What did you get down to when you were
228?
Oh wow!
God dang it!
Got to get you back on the wagon.
I'm so hungry all the time.
I need another weight loss challenge.
No, I'm tired of losing. You'll end up getting my Corvette or something like that.
Speaking of Corvettes, I'm going to go to this question here. I want to jump around to a couple questions because one person, let's see, Juan on Facebook. Why do you want to see 706? Like, what made you choose?
Well, I don't, but I'm curious about it. I think they sound fantastic. I think everything else about them is junk. I think they look stupid. I think the interior is garbage. But these are all thoughts. These are opinions, and you know what I think about opinions. I think opinions are worthless. So, my opinion has very little value because it's based on nothing, just based on something I made up. And so what I'd rather have is an experience. So buy the car, I try the car, I experience the car, then I'm sure some of my opinions will be unfounded or disproven. And then some of the opinions will probably be reinforced, which I think will be kind of fun. And I'll probably turn off about 75% of the Corvette community. And I'm interested to kind of go through the process. The GT350 was an American car, but that was cheating. 90% of the people that own GT350s are Porsche, BMW, and Honda guys. That the GT350 is what the M3 should be. From a performance and from a sound and engine perspective, but then you end up with steel control arms and things like that remind you that it's still a big heavy Mustang. But that was a good experience. I've met lots of amazing people, and so I have this curiosity around the Z06. I have these opinions that are based on nothing around the Z06, and then I'm certain I'm going to meet lots of amazing people that I wouldn't have otherwise met by buying a Z06. Now, some of them I'm going to turn off by me complaining about things that I don't like, but those that that are self-aware enough to agree or disagree or whatever, but that have enough of their own thing going on that they don't get all bent out of shape. I found that usually positional people that have a position on something, I have a harder time getting along with. People that are righteous and they have to protect their position on whatever it is, whether they're a Republican or a Democrat or a Corvette guy. And a lot of times Corvette guys are very positional, and that's the way, which is ridiculous. It's not the way. Even and a 911 is not the way. It's just a way. And so I'm going to crack through, I think, some of those barriers by sharing my thoughts. And we're not off to a good start because I'm used to the BMW community, which there are, luckily for us, like the forums, the companies that sell the products. There's a difference in fit and finish, not just in the car, but in the community, in forums, in places that we go and consume content around the cars. There's IND, there's EAS, there's PSI, there's lots of companies that support these. There's Renline, there's Dundon, there's AWE. There's these companies that support the products and have understand how to take a frickin' picture and make a video about their stuff. And hire somebody that can write and type instead of just copying the canned photo from cooks.com, actually investing a little bit of energy in the product that they build their existence around. Well, I've learned already that the Corvette side of the world is a big pile of garbage. Like, the vendors don't know how to vend, and the forums garbage, and the people just don't contribute as much as so. It's weird because the people that you meet that are Corvette and Chevy or Ford enthusiasts are very diehard, but maybe they're just lazy in general. I don't understand why the communities are so lazy. So hopefully I can provide some value around that. I know I can by just taking photos and making videos of a car that just isn't as. I just find that it doesn't, that crowd doesn't resonate with me. So even the videos that exist and the photos that exist just aren't very good. They're just not my. Let me rephrase it. It's not that they're not very good. It's not my style. And so I think that I'll learn to appreciate the Corvette by taking it on in my way and not being influenced by what already exists.
So for people out there like me who aren't familiar with all the Corvette numbers and letters. Z06.
I see what you're doing there. These freaking stupid numbers.
Well, what does that mean? A C7 Z06?
So
is that a
C7
year?
is the model.
Okay.
Right? So C6 is the previous generation. So I guess it's a generation.
Okay.
So there's C4, C5, C6. So this is the C7. The C8 would be the next generation.
Okay.
So C7 is the generation. Z06 is the model, or I guess the trim of that generation. And then there's the ZR1. No, forget that. There's the ZR1, but then there's the ZL1. That's a Camaro. But then you have the what is it? TZ? No, freaking the LT. Yeah, LZ3. There's LZ1, LZ2, LZ3, which is the trim package, whether it has bows or heads-up display or whatever. And then there's the Z07 package, which is the carbon ceramics and the Magna Ride. And then you got the engine, which is the LT4 or the LT5 and the ZR1. This is going to take a while to figure out.
Yeah, we're getting lots of help here in chat. So C7, what year? Stupid. What year range is that you're?
I don't know. I'm making up all this crap. I think it's like 2014 through 19. Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe 15 through 19, something like that.
Gotcha. When I used to have a Jeep, they went CJ to XJ, YJ, TJ, ZJ, and everything in between. So
yeah, that's an American thing. But then again, BMW was talking E92, and there's M's and 135. So I should stop complaining because, and then you have ZCP, and so they all have the same stupid thing. I don't know why Chevy just makes me angry because their numbers are stupid. BMW's numbers are good. I saw once I get it figured out, I'm sure it'll be second nature. But there's a lot of numbers and letters, so I'm looking for a C7 Z06 with a LZ. I've already messed it up.
Adam LZ.
The LT3 or LZ3 package. 3LZ. That's what it is.
Jacob Hopkins.
Yeah, 3LZ package with the Z07 package, and then I guess the exterior appearance package. So I want carbon ceramics. I want it in either blue, silver, or white. and then we'll punt those hideous wheels in the trash as quickly as we can. So we'll get some sort of decent wheels. Get a new exhaust. Probably do a cam. Do an ECU tune. Intake. I guess you port the heads. I don't freaking know. I got to figure all this stuff out. That's gonna be the fun part.
Yeah, you got a lot to learn. That's
so I was
good.
hoping there was a forum that wasn't garbage that I could go to and start to dig into this, but apparently that doesn't exist.
Well, it looks like just in our chat here today, we have some people with some knowledge that they can help you.
So 50% of those people will not be in the chat by the end of this Corvette because I'm going to turn them all off by me being angry.
All right, so let's rewind here a little bit to your Smoky Strip because we haven't discussed that, I think, since last we were on. I was watching some of the videos, and I think that's the happiest I've seen you in a long time when you were driving with Michelle. And I don't know, it was maybe 50-50 her reaction versus you just enjoying driving, or maybe 90-10. So tell us kind of, how did that trip go?
Well, probably the past 5 or 6 trips I've been at the verge of panic and some sort of mental disorder when I went up there. And so although I enjoyed it, there was always this twinge of fear and phobia and anxiousness, and I forced myself to go. So this is the first time through drugs and therapy and of getting myself fixed where I was able to go up there and drive clean, without any fear and panic, and I'm going to drive off the side of the mountain. So that was a huge benefit. And I had my RS up there. It was only the second time I had my RS in the mountains, which was just fun. And I was able to lead a lot of times, so that takes a lot of the angst off. You're not getting pelted by rocks and things. So yeah, it was great, man. And then the people were great, and we've kind of cleaned up the group from the naysayers and the freaking whiny babies, and so it's just great. It was a great group of people. We had a lot of fun, and I was able to show up this year and not without any baggage of fear. And like last year, I thought I was having a heart attack when I was having acid reflux or something like that. So I was in the middle of panic, and I was also in the middle of leaving, my wealth management career behind and all that stuff. So yeah, this year clean. The business is great. We're doing well. We're gonna survive, I think. I hope. And so I was able to go up there without any baggage, which was amazing.
And then Michelle picked up her quote unquote her new ride along the way, and there have been a couple of videos about that. So you want to speak to that and what's going on there?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it would be interesting for people to get a little bit more of a glimpse into the shenanigans that go on in our lives. And so I don't intend to make videos where I say my wife is going to divorce me. I mean, she literally said, if you don't want to get divorced. So I wasn't really clickbaiting it, but I kind of did. It's just cool to I got her, convinced her to take the camera. I think she did a great job of capturing all kinds of stuff. I know I was smiling the whole time I was editing it. So I just thought it was interesting that the ridiculousness of me buying an M5 for the family to drive around in, I think is fun to begin with. But it's always interesting some of the people who read into the opposite of that and take it so darn seriously. I mean, I'm Mr. Frickin' Serious, and I'm not taking it that seriously. That they're looking for cues, they're looking for mistakes, or looking to hope they catch me slipping, or hoping to catch predict my future divorce or something. I don't know what's wrong with people. Why would you want to approach life that way? But I continue to engage those people on in comments, and my strong sense of having to be right is ever present there. But that's it was a great trip. She got the car, it's here, and I'm waiting for the truck to get back. I've got it at the Ford dealer. They're trying to diagnose why there's a drain somewhere. Something's draining the battery.
You're talking about her truck, the Raptor.
The Raptor, yeah. So once we get the Raptor back, then I'll start the process of detailing the M5. It'll likely be next week. I was hoping to do it this week. I was ready to go, but it's probably good. I'm catching up on things.
So is she enjoying that car so far?
Yeah, she loves it. Yeah. People are like, why don't you just let her? Why are you getting her? It's all about you. I said, well, yeah, she doesn't freaking care. So why would I get her something that I don't like? Let's get her something that I like, and I'm gonna have to wash it. I have to change the oil. I have to take care of it. So why wouldn't we get something cool that I could make videos of and enjoy the process? So call that all about me if you want, but if she doesn't freaking care, why wouldn't we?
I'm sure she'll show up in some of the videos, and the ones she shows up in usually are kind of popular, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I want to go to a couple quick questions here about products before we go to something else. Maddie1776 on Instagram wants to know, what windshield tint do you recommend?
I like Lumar CTX or Lumar Formula One, and I think they have a new one called Stratos, which I haven't used, but I like Lumar tints the most. People say they're all made in the same place. Maybe they are, but the Lumar stuff is the only one that I get that doesn't look milky or weird. So the like CTX or Formula One just doesn't look milky in the sun, and it rejects heat. And so I do Air Blue 80 on the windshield, and then I do some variant of the 20% on all the sides and rear. Sides, back sides, and rear windows is how I do it. Never do a stripe. That's freaking stupid. Do the whole windshield.
Mark G on Instagram wants to know, when will we see your test on all the Meguiar's and Angel Wax products you've been sent recently? Can we expect a test as in-depth as the pressure washer test?
No, I really don't have... what I generally do is just grab a product. So I have a process that's good. Right, so I have a process that's good, and so that has already been answered. Like, here's the products that you need to use. And so I'm constantly looking for improvements to that process, and so I'll test one thing out, one at a time. But no, there are plenty of dudes that do nothing but that. Forensic detailing, and there's other channels. Pan's always showing you new stuff. So I don't really feel the need to do that. I don't really have an interest in that, and so. The main interest in me dealing with the pressure washer project was just to prove freaking people wrong. So I'm just going to make suggestions, and I'll share little tidbits like I did in the last wash and talk, and then I showed you some of the Meguiar stuff that I was using Hyperwash, and showed me just kind of spraying some of this bug stuff that guys sent me. But I'm not in a dire rush to change everything because I already have everything, process that I like. There are some products that will be changed out here. So, like P&S Brake Buster, I'm going to add. That'll replace Adam's Wheel Cleaner, and I think it's probably going to need to test it a little more. I think it's going to replace Rubber and Tire Cleaner as well. So it's already a less expensive product, and it's going to replace two. So I really like that product.
And Spencer had a question along those lines here in the chat. On the fence about restocking my Adams Wheel Cleaner after watching your last video.
I do P&S, yeah.
P&S
Adams is great. I mean, it's fine. But there's no reason for this stupid sodium thioglycolate, the stuff that turns purple. There's so many side effects to that I just don't think there's a reason for it for us. There's a reason for it if you've got really janky wheels that you don't take care of, and that'll hopefully break down iron. But if you ever needed to, you go grab your Iron X and spray it on there, once every 6 months. So all the disadvantages. So the thing I like about Brake Buster so much is it lubricates, so it's really foamy. You can foam it with a foam cannon. You could use the crappy the IK foamer if you wanted to, or you can just spray it on with a spray bottle, and it gives you more foam, more consistency of that. So more lubrication. I just like it better for my process, the way that I do it.
I'm going to get to this super chat question here in just a minute, but while we're in this area, I want two more questions here. From Luke on Instagram, have you tried C2 V3 instead of Beatmaker yet, and have you had any interest in Carbon Collective products?
Oh yeah, I used C2 V3 before Beatmaker. C2 V3 goes on great. It just doesn't look any different. So of course that becomes a sacrificial layer. Beads water really well. It beads water better than Beatmaker does. That's why Beatmaker's name is kind of stupid, but so it's more hydrophobic, but it doesn't look as good. So you could certainly use it. It's obviously designed to work really well with XO and Halo and CSL and CSL Ultra. or I guess CSU, I guess it's called Crystal Serum Ultra. So that is an advantage, but it doesn't give you kind of that depth that Beatmaker gives me. Beatmaker is not the best product. It doesn't bead water the best, so it's not the most hydrophobic. It's not the easiest to put on. It's not the cheapest. It's also not very expensive. But the combination of it's just a good overall product that to me wins out because of all of the above. I can use it on everything. I don't think Z2V3 would do as well on everything. So I can use it on trim and glass and all of that. I don't think I put C2V3 on the glass. I don't think it did as well. And so that's why Beatmaker is my choice. The only Carbon Collective product I ever bought was they have like a lambskin wash pad, but I haven't tried. I want to say maybe I tried some of their stuff, but a lot of the smaller companies like that, like I'm finding that with Angel Wax. I don't know if it's the fit and finish of the sprayer and the bottle and the labels and the product. And I'm speaking out of turn here because I haven't bought a lot of their stuff, but a lot of the really small companies I find are a bit less consistent with their batches of product. But there's some things that are really interesting to me in the Angel Wax line. I don't think, like, their glass cleaner is amazing, but I don't think, I think it's like a glass cleaner that you have in the cabinet, but it's not your go-to because it's really seems to have ammonia in it or something. So I'd be wary to use it on my tint all the time. But it's like one of those things where you spray it on and one wipe, two wipes, where Invisible Glass or Griots or other glass cleaners, Geon, things like that require a little more effort because they're just basically isopropyl alcohol. So whatever's in Vision is really interesting. So I'm trying to figure out, I keep procrastinating on the interior package because of this. There's just some interesting characteristics about some of the Angel Wax stuff, but it's going to be problematic getting here. The margins aren't very good. So the problem with putting my stamp on certain things is if we can't get it, you can't buy it, what's the point? They're not going to be able to keep up with it. So that's why I'm thinking probably Vision. I got to try H2O Go to compare to Wolf's. Good news is Wolf's is back in business, so hopefully they haven't changed the formula. They've been beating down my door to try to get me to buy more. So hopefully Wolf's can be, if H2O Go is better than Wolf's, we'll try it. Well, I'm going to try it on the M5, and I'll know it pretty quickly.
That's a good transition. I want to go to Facebook for this question from Tyler Frame. With mosquito season in full force up here in Rochester, New York, I like to clean the glass on my windshield more often than I'm able to wash my car. The glass is coated with Wolf's.
Yep.
So I'm curious if using Griot's glass cleaner will remove the Wolf's faster than using my typical Adams car shampoo and Beatmaker combo.
Nope. I haven't found any glass cleaner to really affect it all that much. And it's so easy to reapply even if it did. But no, I've used Griot's, I've used Invisible Glass, I've used various glass cleaners on the exterior of the glass all the time. The nice thing about glass is it doesn't scratch as easily. So you do initial, spray lots of product on, do an initial soft wipe, and then go at it. And so that's the one thing that I will also clean often without a full wash. So yeah, I haven't found any. Now I put it on roughly every 4 months or 4 or 5 months, just reapply a quick coat, as long as it's not contaminated. So as long as you're not running your hand and there's all kinds of chunky stuff, I found that you can just slap some more Wolf's on there if you need to. But that's the beauty of Wolf's, is that it never fails. It just slowly goes away. It only fails if you're like a habitual over wiper user, like Michelle throws all kinds of dry wipes. That's when it will kind of stop working. But it's not like Rain-X goes from projecting water to smear crazy, and that's how a lot of them do, and I don't like that. That's what that is my favorite part of Wolf's, because it's not the most hydrophobic window sealant on the planet.
Matt D2886 wants to know, until that Beatmaker specific towel, the orange one gets here, what do you use currently?
The blue one, the blue drying towel, and some depending on the condition of after washing, a lot of times I'll still use the blue small drying towel, which is the creature edgeless. It just depends. Like if I have a lot of bug stuff left over, I would rather use the more plush version, because the twist loop towels are they're not as soft. There's something weird about it's called the FTW towel from the rag company. So we're just bringing that slower pile, lower GSM twist loop towel that for whatever reason is like silky soft. Most of the twist loop stuff I find to be too harsh. I just don't like it. Unless you're doing the whole throw it on the paint and just pull it across method. I find that wiping with twist loop towels, I don't feel good about it. They don't feel as soft. They get snagged up. They're just too heavy. They fall out of my hand all the time. And so this version of the towel, we're just basically making the FTW towel, making it orange. So that'll be the replacement for Beatmaker drying aid application. Those hold a lot more water, so you'll use like 2 towels in the whole car, where I'll use 4 to 6 of the creatures, the small drying towel on the paint to dry.
I want to get to the super chat question here from Littler. What have been the biggest challenges from a business perspective, moving from one career to a new one very successfully?
Well, the trickiest part is confidence. So I made the transition when we were doing, so I was doing like $100 to $200,000 a month in sales. So you figure, so this was me and my parents, and so if I was doing, let's say I was doing $200,000 a month. And change, just depending, give or take. So between $100,000 and $300,000 a month in sales product, plus YouTube revenue, plus the trainings and things like that. And so I had just done a training where, I made a bunch of money, doing the training. So I made, 30, 40, 50,000 bucks, something. I didn't make that. 30,000 bucks on doing a training. I'm, making $40,000 a year in YouTube revenue. Right, so I'm making it a decent amount of money there. And then if I'm selling, let's say I was selling $200,000 in product, and I can continue to do that at 20%, pre-tax margins, rounding down a little bit. There's another, $400,000 in profit. So, I'm replacing, roughly what I'm making in wealth management. So I was able to survive doing that. So although I was fearful that I could continue to sell $200,000 worth of stuff, or who knows, the fear of there isn't that kind of guarantee coming in, because I was making that, plus I was making my salary, right? So, or my income. So I was making, $1 million a year, or I was headed to $1 million a year between these two things. And so then I went from $1 million to 500. And so that was a little fearful in that what happens. So the 500 from Obsessed Garage was like something. It was a side hustle. I'm like, well, who knows? And I'm rounding the numbers. They're maybe a little light, a little heavy. I don't know. I never even look at these numbers, so I don't even know what I make. But the fear was, well, I lost, let's say, this $500,000. And that's gone. Now, what happens if this uncertain $500,000 isn't really, if it's just a flash in the pan? Now what? So that confidence and being able to wake up without an agenda. Because the biggest problem, the biggest thing that could happen in Obsessed Garage is I start pitching you, and start hammering things because I need it. And so when that day comes, it's over. Then I'm going to be pitching forever, and I'm going to be in transactions. I'm going to be miserable. So despite the fact that some people, would question whether I'm pitching or not, I'm not pitching anything. I'm just freaking telling you what I think and doing it in a way that nobody else is doing it. And yeah, I want to make money because I want to buy an M5 whenever I want to. But the money to me is just the result. So that fear of the transition, but I'm cheating a little bit because I had a business that was already generating a lot of sales, a lot of income. So it's not like I was destitute and poor. It's not like I quit my job and I'm gonna bootstrap it and start from zero. I went from 100 back to 80. I didn't go from 100 to 0. and then try to get back to 100 again. And so the lucky thing that happened is the moment that I, walked out the door, my focus changed to Obsessed Garage. I was very cognizant, largely through coaching, to not have an agenda, just keep the thing going, only do more of it. And then before I know it, I had 8 employees and 10 employees, and we'll have 15 employees by the end of this month. So I was able to add leverage. Not only was I able to survive on my own, but support other people's lifestyle as well, by hiring all of you guys to come and help provide leverage and take Obsessed Garage to the next level. So that's hard, but it's something that not everybody's going to be able to do. It's just not everybody wants to do it, and so it's not one of those things that I would recommend for everybody. Because if it crashes and burns, and some people are better at crashing and burning, I think I wouldn't do very well at crashing and burning. I just wouldn't. I'm not wired for that. That'd be a mess.
I got a question here from Nick on Instagram, and I went over this question with Bryce here so I can address it, because you may or may not know this. When joining Inside the Hex or buying a 1M giveaway merchandise, is there any evidence that I've successfully secured digital raffle tickets? What do you think?
I don't know.
No.
Well, I mean, the shirt is the so you have the receipt for the shirt,
right?
Or the hat. You'll have the receipt for the membership platform, and then you're just gonna have to trust us, because we've had to build this thing out of nothing. So we're transposing all that data. So if you bought the shirt or hat, we're gonna have to prove that we took all that data. And so we're just going to export .csv files in from all the sales in Shopify, so it keeps it ironclad, bulletproof. So you can take it to the bank that if you bought a shirt or a hat or became a member, that you're getting the entry. We're going to take the .csv files and import them into a random number generator here when it's time to do it live. We haven't nailed that down yet. We still have a month and 3/4 to figure that out.
I found an app that will actually shuffle everyone around. So
good.
It recognizes their.
And so Bryce found an app for that. So how are we going to then? Like, you get 6 entries when you're a Hex Plus member.
Have to go through.
Yeah. So we'll before we import the CSV file, we're going to go through and manually adjust everything. So I hope that it's like 20,000 people and Bryce has to work his face off.
There's a lot of memberships that have to go through and add someone 6 times.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a lot of work, but and if you have questions, or if you're thinking, hey, maybe I have 5 or I have 6, you can email, and we'll get with you and help you figure it out.
Yeah, don't email us.
Okay, we won't. Don't email. Email Matt.
Leave us alone, for gosh sakes. Just trust me on this one. I got this. I'm going to make sure that we get this done, and we're going to do it right. I don't want to frickin' go to jail over stupid 1M. This is a serious. That's why everybody calls it a giveaway. It's a pretty serious legal thing that we're taking a roll on here. So we got to do it right. There's just no option. There's no option otherwise.
I want to get to a couple product questions here that some folks had with regard to the store. So Scott Francis on Instagram, when will the next shipment of spray bottles be available?
I don't know, man. I'm losing faith. I still have no word from them. I've contacted them six or 7 times now on the tips. It seems that we need to get the Google Docs rolling. Well, let's plan to do that next week. Let's do a bottle update video, and then we'll get the Google Docs going so I can get people to start. I know it's up, but I'll start to promote it where I want to review it and make sure it has the questions that I want.
It's in your drive, like sitting in.
Yeah, I'm losing faith because they're not solving the problem. And I need them to not only solve the problem, I need them to completely rebuild the bottles that they have. And I don't know. This was the risk, is that I don't know this company, they don't know me, and so what are we gonna be able to figure this out? I'm not giving up, But I now have 5 bottles, 5 or 6, where the black tip has failed. The blue tips and the gray tips seem to be fine, but the black tips have failed with water. So I wonder if there was just a bad batch. So worst case scenario, I'm going to get tips, and they're going to be whatever 20 cents or so, and so people can buy 10 more of them. And so worst case, I'm gonna get those here. I do want to make another round, but I've been waiting for them to give me some data, give me some info, and they're not very responsive on that. So that's not a good sign for them completely revamping their bottles for us in the future. But I really enjoy. I mean, I've been using the blue ones because I sold all the darn black ones. I want black ones, so I'm probably going to order another round of bottles here, especially 750s. And they are good, but we need a fix for these tip problems. And occasionally, like 1 out of 15 of them will have like a little pee-pee dribble out the handle, which is no good. So I need to figure out all these things. So I'm doing that in the midst of 37 other things. So I knew this would take a while. So I'm working on it.
Is there a garden hose solution from Cox Reels? That's from Tanner Lee on Facebook.
No, the best solution is still the Ely reel. At some point, I've been saying this for a while too, I'm going to get out to Cox and I'm going to fly out to Arizona and I'm going to meet with the engineers and we're going to design an OG spec garden hose reel. One that kind of matches. I'd also like to have some other colors of the reels as well, because not everybody likes blue like I do. So
we get requests for black fairly often.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah. So I'd like to have a few color variants. A lot of that also is going to go hand in hand with us having a new facility and bigger space someday. So.
All right. Speaking of that, we're going to go to Cleo182 on Instagram. Is there any update on a potential new warehouse / OGHQ?
No, here's what happened. So, I had this amazing deal, right? The guy was going to he was going to owner finance it. I was going to put no money down. I was going to pay 3% interest. He was going to make something like a 20% markup or something on the facility. And he said, I'll build you whatever you want. And then that turned into, I'll build you whatever you want, but everything that you want over and above what I want to do, you're going to have to pay for. And then he introduced me to his architect. And the architect gave me a $49,000 bill, and I told him to get frickin' lost. And then I just kind of came to the conclusion that by the time we get in that building, we will have probably outgrown it anyway. So the deal and the process of going through the deal was a great learning experience. But I think what we need to do is just slum it here. And get tons of storage units and deal with the hardness of running back and forth. And I think we'll build really great culture by stacking a bunch of humans in here. It'll allow me to save, if I quit buying M5s, it'll allow me to save some money. And then we're just going to go buy a couple 100 acres and then start the destination facility. And I figure we're about 30 months out from that. After this month, 31 months.
We'll push that back another month until he buys whatever's after the M5. Let's see here. There's a good question that I saw pop up in the chat. What was up with the video quality in recent videos? They didn't seem to be up to standards we've seen in the past.
GoPro.com.
Having some issues with GoPro?
They just suck. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of them are just driving videos with GoPro. That's the problem. And then it's freaking Sony. Sony camera's weak.
And I think you mentioned this in your Facebook post, asking for electric pressure washers. Spencer asks, are you going to test the new Adams pressure washer? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, I just bought one.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Apparently it's on sale. Did we just pay $350 for it? Shoot.
No, we got it on sale.
Oh, we did? Oh, yeah.
20% off, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I can promise you it's garbage. There's no questions. I'm gonna take it apart. It's this freaking Sunjo pump in there. I guarantee it. Just looking at it, it's the same pump. It's the same Chinese manufacturers. All of these, there's like 3 manufacturers of these crappy pressure washers, and then they offer a service where you can private label it, and so that's if you buy enough of them, you can have your own mold built. Like the ARs and the Sunjos have their own proprietary mold, so they look different. But notice Adams is just it's one of the generic molds because there's a bunch of them, other companies that sell that same look and feel. And so it has a 25-foot hose. It's junk. I love Adam and Adams and the company and Matt and all the people there. Derek, who's the CEO, they're great. They're making the transition to become a really big corporation, and they're you're not going to become really big selling $2,000 pressure washers. It's just not going to happen. And so they're transitioning to, this is just my take on it, maybe I'm wrong, but they're transitioning to the sell to the masses. It's like, chemical guys you never see me bashing chemical guys. I just don't use their stuff because they're not for me. Their stuff isn't really any good. It's just, it's mass marketed. And so Adams is making that transition as well to become a really big, supplier of products to the masses. And when that happens, the quality changes, or the need for really high-end stuff changes. The masses just aren't going to buy it. They can't. And so this is something that pressure washer, it will probably do fine, and they'll have to fix them all the time and stuff like that. So they'll determine whether or not it makes viable sense to have that product. But it's junk, It's like their polishers are junk. Their soap is still good, but eventually that will probably change as well. And that's the nature of the beast. That's the way it goes. And so a prosumer like myself, I'm super psyched for them. I think it's fantastic. I don't know that I would make that transition, but maybe I'll make that transition someday. And that if Obsessed Garage becomes a big lifestyle brand like Adams has becoming, or Chemical Guys has become, maybe I'd head down that path too. And I can't say that I would or wouldn't until you get there. So that's what's going on there, And they have outside investment capital, and they're becoming a big corporation, which is awesome.
I have a couple questions related to guys who are looking maybe to purchase something new. So first one from Lazaro on Facebook. After seeing the M2s and their capabilities from the Smoky Strip, I really want one. I can't afford it at this moment. Would you recommend to wait a year and save, then go for the M2, or get an M235i, which I can easily afford now? Parentheses, I still have not even driven one.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't drive cars either. I just go buy it. I don't know. I'm a proponent of not getting yourself into trouble, but also stretching and motivates you. Now, if you have a job where you have no chance of making any more money, then then I don't know that I'd make the stretch. But if you use it as a bargaining chip to motivate yourself, then I'd say just freaking go get one now. If you can swing an M235, what's another $10,000? And so I would have a tendency to get the darn one that I want. But there's also an advantage of making those progressive steps. You might enjoy it more. I think, an M2 is one of those cars you get once, generally. And you get once, you enjoy it for whatever time you have it. And so my guess is if you got an M235i, you probably won't ever get an M2.
Then along those same lines here from Duhan Kim on Facebook. In one of your videos from years ago, you talked about your car progression. Mm-hmm. I followed a similar path as you, starting with the Toyota, Honda/Acura, and now I'm on my second BMW. At the end of my current lease, I'm looking to buy a used F80 M3, but part of me feels like it's too soon for me to get into this car. It'll be a big leap from what I currently drive, which is the X3. Financially, I'm comfortable with buying it, but my dilemma is breaking away from that linear progression. This guy sounds like an engineer here. And potentially head down the path I'm not ready for from life perspective. In your experience, did you ever feel this way, and how did you conclude that you were ready to buy your first $80K plus car?
Well, my car progression was always dictated by dollars. How much money did I have? And how far was I willing to stretch? So although I was irrational about that stretching generally, like I went too far, it wasn't like too far. Like, for instance, I wanted an E46 M3. I was making $60,000 or so. It was a $55,000 car at the time. That just wasn't, that was too much of a stretch. But I stretched for an S2000. An S2000 was probably still out of my league based on my lifestyle. But I went and bought or leased a new S2000, and I've lived life on a monthly payment. And so it sounds to me like he's much more responsible. So I never really thought about my car progression. I just had a car progression because of dollars, and then actual cents, like how much, not cents, pennies, but cents, how much cents that I have on stretching, on reaching. So, I got my S2000 probably early. I got my E92 M3 early. I went and got and had an S2000. I didn't get rid of my S2000 when I had my M3. And then I created this justification where I'd sell my S2000, use the dollars for that to lease an S4. So I had an S4 and an M3, probably before I should have. But the question is, when is should have? So I would think that it sounds to me like, if you can afford it, then you do it. I think you're going to end up disliking the F80 after a short period of time. But if you have F80 on the brain, you have to get it. You have to do it. You have to buy it. You have to, enjoy it. And then if it's if it's a car that you absolutely love, you get another one and you keep them, and you get the new, whatever the new version is. For me, I got one and it scratched the itch, and I moved on to whatever the next thing was. But I wouldn't think too much about progression and getting ahead of yourself. I think that I probably would have bought a GT3 at day one if I could have. So if you can, I say do.
Yeah, it says financially I'm comfortable with buying the car. And I'll speak to this just briefly because I'm in the process of getting a new vehicle that'll be approximately 38 times the cost of my current car. And
what's 38 times 0 though? How does that math work?
And for me, I'm waiting till the part where, like you said, comfortable is the word for me. Because if you're driving it around and you're worried about whatever the payment is, or you're worried about the depreciation, or you're worried about anything, that takes away from your enjoyment at that point.
Yeah, that's not even worth having. That's a really good comment there. The enjoyment part and worrying about depreciation, worrying about the car, like. I didn't, so all these stretches that I made, I never really enjoyed the car as much as I could have or should have, because I stretched so far that if something did happen to the car, I couldn't fix it, because the payment was, I could fix it, but it would put me out. Even even as recent as my blue GT3, I lost a bunch of money on that darn Carrera S, and, and I had a massive payment on my GT3. I paid it off rather quickly, but that blue GT3, man, it's just I stressed out about it. But something's happened over the last 2 or 3 years where I enjoy them much more. I'm much less worried about them. I still take care. I wash them less than I used to. I certainly wouldn't park in a stupid parking space next to other people, but definitely park far away. But that's just common sense. But you want to be able to enjoy the thing. And I see this often where guys are so worried about warranties. I mean, so I'm freaking buying a warranty on the M5. If the motor blows up, I'll just get a new one. Or throw the car away and start over. So I think you need to be willing. If you can, the sooner you can get to that place, the more fun you'll have with the cars, and you'll have a much more natural progression.
Definitely. Let's see here. I want to go to. There's a great question here in the chat. Bryce kind of answered it, but James Clark said, "Hey there, Chris and Matt. Join Hex Light, and I've been enjoying the content. Want to pick up an OG hat, but I have a fat head, 7 3/4." And none of the hats will fit. Any chance we can get a bigger size? And Bryce let him know that's the largest size, the hats that we sell that we can get a hold of. Because I tried one on yesterday, and I had a large, extra large, and it was a little snug. So
what about that? The trucker hat fits, doesn't it?
Just get one of the snapback hats.
I freaking love those.
Yeah,
I've always, I don't know where they've been my whole life. Like, I've been wearing FlexFit hats and uncomfortable in comparison. I thought they were fantastic, the FlexFit hats. And then I've been wearing this darn snapback hat. It's amazing. It's like I don't even know I have it on my head. This is I've been so stupid. I looked at them as cheap.
Oh,
so
they're awesome.
Yeah, definitely get the yeah, the one with the white mesh. You'll freaking love it. I'm telling you. Oh,
so
love
James, I'm approximately the same size head as you, and the snapback's the way to go. I got a big noggin. But someone asked how the 1M giveaway entries were going, and I wanted to bring this up anyway because of James's question.
Yeah, where am I at here? How much money am I in the black or the red here?
We're still in the red for a little while.
Oh crap.
But the snapback hat is the number one so far by twice as much as the next.
That's because I've been wearing it probably. Right. It's freaking awesome. I love that thing.
The Mattyism shirt is second bestseller right now.
So we're getting some of those. I need my own. I want one.
And then the coin is the third bestseller, and then it's shirt, hat, shirts, and so on. But
crap. What about our membership? We need to sell a lot more, people. Please help me here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be.
That's actually you want to show them the stack of orders.
Yeah, but these are $25 orders, not $25,000 orders. So I need this to be like 8 times the size of this. So these will all be going out as we ordered shirts. So they're going to print. I approved all the print stuff. What I didn't want to do was buy 1,000 shirts. I wanted to figure out what people were going to want. And so that's why it's going to take a couple weeks for people to get their orders. So I'm working on it.
Your poor parents, they were so excited because we had finally cleared out most of the orders, and then now we got a whole nother stack.
That's the way to go. Always have something to work on.
Let's see. I want to get to a quick question about the M5. Mm-hmm. Why ESS Tune on M5 and not Dynan? I mean, you're doing all mechanical mods using Dynan parts. Why not their Tune as well?
Well, Dynan doesn't have a Tune. They have a piggyback. So Dynan has the Dynantronics piggyback setup, which I would much rather have an actual ECU flash tune. So ESS to me, there's lots of companies that are getting more power out of these cars, but I don't care. I don't want that. I don't want to go the extra 10%. I want to keep it simple and clean. And ESS it's kind of goes back to the rant about Corvettes in the beginning. There's a microcosm. There's a connectivity to all things, and so when a company's lazy on one thing, they're going to be lazy on another. And I don't know ESS. I don't know the guys there, but I know that they aren't lazy. So when IND puts their stamp on them, and IND knows more than I know, and so I chose the ESS flash tune. I could do it right through the OBD2, and so I don't have to do anything crazy with piggybacks or anything like that. So that's why.
Garrett on Facebook asked, do you have any thoughts or have you seen the Phoenix PD36R? 1600 lumen, built-in rechargeable battery, two-way clip, all in a very similar size and design to that PD35 Tactical.
No, I hadn't seen that, but I'm going to look it up right now.
All right, Garrett, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
While you're doing that, hey, my wife's watching. Love you too. Let's see. Have you checked out the new Adams foaming shampoo? Pan just reviewed it, and it is shaving cream thick. So do you have any experience with their foaming shampoo?
No. They had the Adams foam. That's the purple stuff. Shaving cream thick is too thick.
Well, if you're trying to shave your car, then you need that. Yeah, just go get Barbasol. Have you ever tried Meguiar's Deep Crystal Coating M188?
No, I think that's international only, isn't it? I don't think it's available here. Oh yeah, that thing looks pretty nifty. Looks a little smaller. Oh boy, I can't keep up with everything. Shoot, I want this flashlight.
Great, there we go, Garrett.
Game changer. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, there are a lot of options.
They're not allowed to know about that. Buy the PD35 so I don't get stuck with those. Yeah, this thing looks pretty sick. I don't know. I got to get one to try it. You never know.
All right, this question. I know I think it came in yesterday from Source Garage. Hey, Matt, have you gotten to try out the wheel stand?
I haven't used it yet, but I got it yesterday and put the wheel on it. Seems to work. Yeah. People will be all fired up about that thing. So he needs to make those in quantity so I can sell them. So
any updates on interior package?
Ugh. Yeah, I gotta get.
It's on that list of 37 projects.
The package is going to be more piecemeal. So P&S interior cleaner should be here any day. So we'll get that up in the store. I'm still playing with the Angel Wax stuff because that might change up a few things. So yeah, I'm working on it. I've got to order invisible glass here, and the invisible glass tool. So I'm gonna piecemeal this, and so I'm gonna probably order the invisible glass tomorrow. Yeah, hide serum rust stopper's coming, so that'll be here soon. About 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, we're 2 or 3 weeks out from that.
Yeah, P&S brake buster will be coming in. We already talked about that. But yeah, the interior stuff. The thing I'm really trying to figure out is the leather stuff because I really like the Swiss Vax. And my buddy Brian Guy has been having all kinds of health issues, so I've been having a hard time linking up with him. And the Swiss Vax stuff is going to be hard to get anyway. So I just love that leather cleaner. It's so good. So simple. All the other more complicated stuff is just that complicated.
Are there going to be do you have any designs or plans for OG activewear shirts, something that works well in hotter climates?
Yeah, I've got lots of stuff on the docket. But shoot, we have 4 new t-shirts that we haven't gotten up yet. So we're going to be rolling on this soon. Chris and Bryce are going to get me some candidates. We've got 100 plus from the job posting I put up, so we're gonna work through that, find a couple of good people, see if they stick, and that'll give me the ability to start making more stuff.
We got the first interview tomorrow morning at 10, actually.
Good.
Let's see what else we got here. A couple folks were asking about the M3. Lots of love for the 1M, the GT3 RS, the M5.
Yep.
What's going on with the M3?
Oh, you're going to like this. My Eventuri full carbon intake shipped yesterday. I should have it Monday or Tuesday. I have number 6. I like that. So that'll be here. I'll be doing a video series on that. I want to go do some flybys with the M3. The Titan 7 wheels are going on it, so I'll have some videos on that. I just ordered tires, so that'll be Friday next week. I'm going to go put those on. I forgot to order TPMS. So wheels are going on it, the intake, and then stereo will be probably later this summer after I finish the M5. So yeah, more M3 stuff coming too.
Nicholas Bauer said he picked up one of your mirror water bottles there. Hands down, best water bottle I've ever bought. You need to sell them with OG logos.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's also on the list.
we got a really long list. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
That's good. Job security here.
So imagine the House of Horrors in my brain because my list is like longer than you guys could possibly imagine.
Had 3 or 4 people I wanted to. They were asking about the specific differences between membership. Hex Lite versus Hex Plus.
They're the same thing. The only difference is the Hex Plus gets you 10% off and free shipping.
Which is essentially our Black Friday deal each year, right? So you get it all year long.
Correct. Yeah, other than that, it's the same thing. I don't want to complicate it and have, like, you're going to get a signed pencil from, next Tuesday of the 17th month of the, all this bull crap. It's just like, you're getting videos, podcast, and 10% off. You go to all these weird like membership things. There's all this weird crap. Like, I don't want any of this junk. There's freaking bunch of tchotchkes, digital tchotchkes. I don't want that. I'm not going to deal with any of that junk.
Free wallpaper.
Yeah. It's monthly free wallpaper. Give me a freaking break. That's stupid.
Wicked Cleve wants to know, what's the blower called that you used in your latest car wash video?
Ego 580.
580, not the 530, 540.
Yeah, so I'm loving it. The only problem with the 580 is it's a little heavier and longer. So I've found myself smacking it off the fender a couple of times. So I have to kind of get used to it because it's a little longer than the 530. But the 530 is great too. The key is having the 5 amp hour batteries. If you have the 5 amp hour batteries, you can do the whole car and then some. But in turbo mode, which is all you really want. I only use it in turbo mode. So it's great. I love it. I love not having to get anything out. Just grab it, put some headphones or some whatever ear protection on, and roll. It's great.
Do you have any plans to do a dedicated series on PPF installs? Training materials are generally not available to consumers from manufacturers. That's from Jason on Instagram.
No, other than just the stuff that I show when I go and have PPF done. Like if I get a GT4, next year, I'll go and have that done. But I don't think I could do it. I don't think I'm artistically capable of doing a decent enough job in PPF. So I don't think I could ever be a candidate for that.
You could reference the Adam LZ when you went down and did that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good one to watch. Not necessarily a training video, but you at least get a...
Yeah. There's plenty of resources to go to different, trainings for that. Usually I think it coincides with they want you to be a dealer, or an installer.
This is an interesting question. We'll see if you have thoughts on this. What's the average age of your viewers on YouTube, and do you know which states the majority of people are watching from? I know on Facebook you can get some pretty easy data.
Yeah,
like
I mean the average, the bulk of the median is in that 35 to 39 and 35 to 40 range. Is something like 40% or something, 38%, something like that. And then I think the biggest city is Houston for some reason.
Biggest state in California.
Yeah.
Bryce mentioned he thought the biggest state was California.
Yeah, it pretty much coincides with the biggest populations. Wherever the whitest, nerdiest people are, that's where people follow. Most. Australia, there's lots of people in Australia that watch. UK, English speaking, lots of Germans too. Apparently, I'm widely followed in the Philippines. So there's lots of detailing goes on in the Philippines, Netherlands, another place. But in the U.S., it's all over the place, But the vast majority of people would be wherever the people are, the bigger cities.
Stefan wants to know: can you use Wolf's trim coat on headlights and taillights, or would you use your sealant/wax/coating of choice?
Yeah, no, I would use the sealant or wax. Yeah, it doesn't do as well on like regular plastics, like non-porous plastics.
Yum Cars was here in the chat. They said, have you had a chance to use any of our range that we sent? We realize you're super busy, but we think the wheel cleaner will beat your current favorite.
Have I used it? I used the detail spray on my cabinets. I don't think I've used the wheel cleaner. I may have. I've got so much stuff. This is why I always tell everybody, I try to talk them out of sending me stuff, because I'm not a very good tester of things. These days.
All right, Ruben from Endless Detailing asks, how do you wash your buffing pads?
I wash them in the sink in my kitchen, which Michelle loves. I don't have a utility sink in my house. Probably should. So I wash them in the sink, with as hot of water as I can stand. So what I do first is I'll do a little swirly cue of Dawn. And then kind of agitate that, let it sit. So I'll do let's say I do 6 at a time. And so I'll do the little swirly thing of Dawn, kind of agitate it with my fingers. Don't wash it all out, set it to the side. Do the next one. So do all 6, get Dawn in it. And then I rinse out the Dawn. And then I have Micro Restore in a spray bottle diluted like 50%. And so then I hit that same process with the Micro Restore, agitate it, set it to the side, do all 6, come back, and then rinse out all of the residual. What I find is the surfactant or whatever the degreaser in the Dawn really breaks down all the polish. But then the problem is that the reason why Dawn doesn't leave your hands all beat up is because it leaves something behind. And so then my philosophy is then I use the Micro Restore to get rid of whatever's left over. It seems to work well. My pads always last long, look good, and that's how I do them.
Now you say last long. What kind of
5, 6, 7 uses of them. Depending on if I beat it up by hitting an edge of something or chopping or but yeah, generally 5, 6, 7, 8 uses of microfiber or foam, wool, all that stuff tends to last a while.
You mean 1 to 1,
50%.
50%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked.
Yeah. So half micro restore, half water. It's pretty it's pretty pungent when you do that.
This is from Dustin in the chat, how does the lubricity compare between Adam's car shampoo and Meguiar's Hyperwash?
Very similar. In fact, I can't detect a difference. I think that whatever detergent they're using in the Meguiar's is a little bit better. But my fear is, I talked to Marcus and Nick at Meguiar's. They say it's flat pH neutral. My fear is that it's it's cleaning a little heavier. But I've been using it specifically on the M3 every time, and I haven't noticed any degradation of the Beatmaker Colonite Power Lock combo on there. And I've been, it's raining like crazy. So I think it's a viable solution. I literally use like 40% of what I use in Atom. So if I need to try to use like 20%. Like, the stuff is so hyper concentrated, you don't need a lot of soap, and it creates about the same thickness, maybe a little bit thicker foam. It feels the same. The one disadvantage, doesn't smell very good. Doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't smell good like Adams does. But it's like what, $8 or $9 less a gallon, and you know me, I'm Mr. Frugal, and you're using like half or less, maybe a third of what you're using. So it's going to cost substantially less. I mean, a gallon's going to last you forever. And if you really squeezed it and really tested it, if you used warm water in your foam cannon, I bet you could do like 40 mLs of soap in a in a 3/4 filled foam cannon. It's pretty good. I like it. It's been around a long time. I don't know. Sometimes it just takes a while to find stuff.
Sean wants to know from the chat here, have you looked into glassparency or had any experience with that?
Yeah, my buddy Scott just sent me a bottle of their glass cleaner, but glassparency doesn't do me any freaking good because you can't buy it. Their infinite wisdom, they're selling it to detailers only. So you're going to sell 10,000 bottles of it instead of 10 million bottles of it. What do I know? So, yeah, I have no interest in it because I can't buy it.
From the chat here, Sunday Fun Day. He's new to the podcast. Welcome. Where did you get the canvas picture on the wall?
It's GIK Acoustics. It's those are bass traps. They're 242 bass traps that you can submit whatever photo you want, and you tell them what gap you want. I think it was like $380 for the set. So it's really not crazy expensive, and I think it's awesome. So they're actual physical, like, useful acoustic treatments, acoustic panels, designed for theaters and recording studios.
So, yeah, we have some other plain ones here, so I'm imagining that's a bit of an upcharge to add your own picture.
Yeah, not a lot, though. Maybe 20%, 25% more.
Let's see. I'm trying to address some of these chat questions here. Do you want to see OG Facebook content move towards more photo/video based posts, or is there still a place for text heavy content?
No, I like to always have some sort of, I just think it suits the format better. It looks better when you have a photo or two. So I always post a photo even if it doesn't apply. You just Command Shift 4 and take a photo of something and attach it, or a video. Or a link to something where it creates that photo at the bottom. What I want to see the Facebook group transition a lot toward is, again, the sharing of personal stories. Putting more effort in and less of which pressure washer should I buy. That's still very valuable, and I think that Facebook in general, because it cycles through and it's not very searchable on like a forum, you can't. I mean, we can't complain when somebody asks a question that's been asked before, because there's constantly a new flow of people and they may not know the answer to that. So I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is, people not putting an effort in. Hey, check out my ride. No, tell me this. Put a little effort. Type a couple of paragraphs or something about your ride. Yeah, why do you love it? Why did you get it? When did you get it? What did you have before? I don't know. Put a little effort in. And nothing angers me more than when I get the message, why was my video deleted? Because I don't like you. No, it's because you didn't put any effort in. I like you. Just do a little bit more work. And don't freaking email me. That's how you get to not to like you. Gosh. Seemed like a lot of people liked it. There was 3 likes. I don't freaking care. If it was stupid, I don't even care if there's 1,000 likes. If it's stupid, I'm deleting it. And don't share any freaking 25% off coupons to places that have a 25% off coupon every day of the year. Because they provide no value and that's the only way they can sell junk. Stupid. Don't do that. And don't freaking message me about it.
Here's
deleted.
A good question from Alkaline Topat. That's an interesting name. Will other OG employees be coming out to future OG events?
I don't know. It's kind of hard right now because we have a skeleton crew of people, so it's kind of hard to shut down shop, So I'd love to take my dad or take Bryce or take, you wouldn't really care to go, but it's or Kyle would probably want to come to some stuff, but it's kind of hard because everybody's like the sole responsibility to make sure that I can go and do it. And I think everybody here kind of gets that. If I don't, I have to do it. It's part of the deal. I've got to be out and about, and this is how things happen. Creating videos, meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies is kind of my role in this thing. But I think at some point, as we have people running departments, like if Bryce has 3 or 4 people and he wants to go to something, then it'd be a little easier for him to do that.
I would like to go to SEMA one year. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Book my trip.
Yeah. And then one day I'll take the Camry. I might keep the Camry. I'll take the Camry up to the Tail of the Dragon and see what we can do. Let's see here. Can I use Lint Lamb's wool pads on a DA? Lint Lamb.
I don't know what those are, but probably not.
Yeah, that sounds like a no to me.
Yeah, generally, you need generally a lower nap. The Japanese style wool pads for a DA.
Do you have any more info or experience with the Angel Wax products that you tested the other week, besides the fact that they had terrible bottles?
Yeah, freaking bottles are garbage. The Vision glass cleaner is remarkable, but it if you close your windows and use it in your car, it would literally kill you. You would die. And I'm not sure. I feel like it's gonna melt through tint, but man, does it work great. Their interior scents are amazing. So I'm punting Griots in the trash. It just so happened that I can't sell Griots. I'm sure somebody's going to call me out on this and say, the only reason is because you can't sell it. I can sell it, but I'm not buying it from freaking Auto Geek. And the margins would actually be better if I bought Griots from our Auto Geek and sold their stuff. So screw you. But their interior scent is amazing. We sprayed it in the garage, and it's so good. There's 2 different flavors, if you will. Oh, it's so good.
What are the scents?
I don't know what it's called. Eden and Ecstasy or something stupid like that. But man, they smell good.
So is it like a
elixir or something?
You don't like fruity smells, so it's more like a manly
there is
sandalwood.
I don't like the manly one as much as I like the fruity one.
Okay,
the fruity one's good.
Your strawberry shortcake scented.
No, it's. I don't even know how to explain it. I'll just have to get them.
Yeah. I want to smell them now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now that you've driven that M5 and maybe put some miles on there,
yep.
How does it compare to the 1M, the M3? How are they like? How are they different?
Well, it sucks in comparison. Engagement-wise, you freaking can't hear anything. So I'm probably going to end up putting downpipes on just so I can hear the darn thing. It doesn't make any noise. It makes lots of noise out of the car. You just can't hear anything in the car. It's like a cocoon. I understand that's kind of the design of the class of the M5. It's big. The back seat isn't as big as I thought it was, so that doesn't really help for the whole family vehicle thing. But I knew that. DCT is great. I'm going to enjoy the process of it. I don't think we'll have it for a long time. We'll probably have it for a year or two, and then move on. But I've always wanted one, so I got one, and now we're doing it. I've already IND's care package is coming. Crap, I haven't heard from Nathan. I'm going to call him at Dine-In. But the IND package of all kinds of stuff is coming. I'm having they're painting interior package black, so I don't have to look at that brown old man wood crap. I really need the Dine-In stuff so I can do all the suspension. Because what I don't want to do this time is take the wheels off, put the wheels on, take the wheels off, put them on, and jack up the wheels and mess up the lugs. So this time I'm gonna wait until I get all the suspension stuff done and then do the wheels, new wheels. So I'm getting 343M wheels with spacers. I just don't like aftermarket wheels on that car very much. I like the OE ones, but I want them to be black.
Let's see. Have you tried the P&S shampoo?
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it doesn't like it. It leaves a little residue behind. It's doesn't foam very well. Smells good. Didn't create as much suds in the bucket. So let me rephrase it. It's good, but it's not as good as Hyperwash or Adams. So, and I knew instantly. I only needed to use it once.
Got a question here from Andy in the chat. So of those cars, and I guess we'll include all the cars you've had, what's been your favorite car when it comes to pound for pound car for the money?
E92 M3, hands down, my favorite car. Yeah, I mean, I love my GT3, of course, but the M3 is so awesome. I love that thing.
Ed, what portion of the price would that be? A third,
fourth? Yeah. Or now it could be 10% of the price. If you got one with high mileage. The problem is that the problem with that car comes in is you're going to have to fix stuff when you have 120,000 miles on it, and if you have to buy a $20,000 version of it, you probably don't have $2,000 sitting around all the time to replace crap. So that kind of defeats the purpose. So, I think you buy one if you got the cash. I mean, just changing all the fluids and everything in the car is probably $1,500 worth of, and then I have all the gear. Imagine you got to pay someone to do it. You got $3,000 worth of just regular maintenance to do on the thing. So that's the one disadvantage to that type of car. That's where Hondas come in. You buy an S2000 or something, or RX-7 or something is a little easier to maintain. I guess RX-7 would be a bad example. 350Z, yeah.
Does a fancy wash mitt really matter, or does a chenille do a good enough job?
Yeah, I think it matters. Yeah, I think you get just get the darn microfiber madness ones. $27. Get 2 of them, and they'll last you for like 5 years. Just wash it in the washer. It'll last you a long time, and then won't scratch your paint, and it won't be too heavy. I don't understand why I always get this freaking question. Why is everybody even asking? They're trying to save $8 by buying some garbage Chinese microfiber knockoff that somebody says they created out of lots of testing. Bull crap. I mean, the rag company had 7 or 8 different variants, and it still doesn't touch the microfiber madness. It's just they know how to choose the right amount of foam, and then there's actually very little microfiber in comparison to other options. You don't want a lot of microfiber. Microfiber grabs and holds, and you actually don't want polyamide, which is the higher quality microfiber material. You want it to be polyester so it doesn't hold too much water. Then it weighs 50 pounds. It ends up being a brick. You just don't want that. So the combination of the viscose, which I think is a variant of wool, and then polyester in a combination with the right type of insert, or the foam insert, there's no question. I'm telling you, just freaking buy the microfiber madness.
I have a question from Mike on Facebook, our good buddy Mike. He wants to know, are you going to be testing out the Sunjo SPX 6001C? It's the battery-powered unit that has the built-in bucket, so you can use it at an apartment.
God dang it.
Taylor has one. That's his daughter. And no surprise here, the wand and hose really are a pile of crap, even more so than the pressure washer itself. She's in desperate need of an OG hose and wand package for it.
Yeah, that's a smart idea. I'll frickin' buy one of those when I get off this thing here. Sun Joe. I thought I was done with them. Ugh. Blech. Makes me want to gag vomit.
Battery-powered unit. Interesting.
Yeah, he's been telling me to get that for a while. But frickin' Sun Joe. Stupid Joe.
When will the 1M raffle shirts be shipping?
As soon as they're made. So 2 weeks probably, maybe less.
Yeah.
My parents are like literally salivating to get them out. So trust me, we're moving.
Bryce and I sat down the other day and we did a little order of them to get them in, and there's going to be a bunch here at once. And as soon as we get them, we'll get them out.
Yeah, and then we'll probably have to have more, and so we'll have three different cycles of 2 weeks behind on them. That was kind of the plan. It would do me any good to do a raffle if I buy 4,000 shirts and sell 1,000 of them, and then I have 3,000 shirts that I don't know what to do with. So, what are we at time-wise? I'm getting hungry.
12:25. You gonna go to 7-Eleven get a Slurpee?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that.
Well, before we go, inquiring minds want to know: do you have an update for us on Riverdale? How things are going in Riverdale or Stranger Things or whatever you're watching?
Yeah, I watch them all. Yeah, I've watched Stranger Things the whole season. It's pretty decent. Riverdale got real weird there toward the end. It's so stupid. It's like the stupidest show ever. Like these, oh man, it's so dumb. But once I get started, I have to finish it. Stranger Things. What else did I watch? I tried watching Designated Survivor again, and that's the one with
I don't know that one.
The 24 guy. What's his name?
Kiefer
Sutherland. Yeah. He's the president. I watched the first season when it was on ABC. I've got 2 episodes behind on Handmaid's Tale. That's a great show. You would like that show. It's good. Michelle is always questioning, how do you have all this time to watch? Well, how do you think I shop for M5 parts and make Facebook posts? I'm sitting there watching shows while I'm doing my thing. This is my job. Yelling at people on YouTube about them telling me I'm driving too fast. And then yelling at other people telling me I never drive my car. So which is it, people? Do I drive too slow, not enough, or too fast? Which one is it? You can't freaking win. You shouldn't be doing that on public roads. Have you ever been to the freaking mountains? There's like literally no cars other than stupid Harley Davidsons driving 12 miles an hour everywhere. That guys trying to be hard when they're like a dental hygiene assistant and they've got a patch on. They're driving their freaking Harley 8 miles an hour around roads. That just drive it to the mall. Why do you need to be in the mountains? It's ridiculous. So then guys are like, well, they want to be in a nice area too. So who do you think you are? That guy is deleted from the channel. He said, "Don't come to Germany and drive. You'll lose your license." I'm like, what are you talking about? Freaking idiot.
Let's see here. We got a couple. One guy here thinks you seem like a Sabrina fan. You ever watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
I tried. Bryce says that's a variant of a spin-off of Riverdale. I tried to get started, but I figured, Riverdale got real stupid, and I got sucked into that. The stupid, and I don't know. But yeah, I'll probably end up watching that too.
We've got a couple recommendations here.
What do we got?
Yellowstone.
Yeah, I already watched that.
Okay.
The whole season. I'm in season 2. I watched that in like a day. Apparently never.
Letterkenny. Stupid humor, but a decent watch. You can get through in about 6 to 7 hours. I've seen some people who
I have to watch that.
I haven't watched that, but I've heard about that.
What is it?
Letterkenny. I was talking to someone about, we mentioned recently The League, and they said if you like The League,
I've seen that. I've seen all those. Yeah.
Do you watch Supernatural?
No. That's a good one. That's a good teeny bopper show I should start watching. Yeah. I think it's a Sci-Fi Channel show.
Got a lot of seasons.
Chernobyl.
I watched Chernobyl.
Good.
Yeah.
Kind of depressing, says Jason.
Yeah, I watched it. The thing I didn't like about Chernobyl is that they took the liberty of they took the one lady was representative of like 100 scientists. Why didn't it just freaking do 100 scientists? It's freaking stupid. So they kind of dramatized the story, which I thought was dumb. I think most HBO and Showtime shows kind of suck. Homeland I like, but most, like, I've never got into Billions. I never got into, I tried watching the Rock show Ballers. You know what show is good on HBO is Leftovers. That show is great.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, new Wu-Tang show is coming out.
Hmm.
I gotta get me in on that.
Do you have any plans on getting a tool cart? That comment came up in a recent video.
I don't know where to put it. The tool cart is such expensive real estate. I don't know. When I have a 50,000 square foot facility, I'll get a tool cart or two. But where am I going to put it? Seriously. I put it under my desk or something? I don't know. I want one. Every time I'm working, I want one. But then I got to, another 99% of the time, it's got to go somewhere. And I got to look at it. I don't like that. I'd rather struggle a little bit when I'm working on the car occasionally. But yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive because I'm all about the right tool for the job thing. And obviously a tool cart would be nice, but I don't know. And like rolling carts, it's like if you put that in your cabinet array, I talk about this all the time with guys. It's like that's such an expensive spot. I don't know. Just don't know.
A couple more TV show recommendations here for you.
What do we got?
The Expanse on Amazon.
Oh,
I wrote that one down. I can check that one out.
Check that out.
Shameless is a great show on Showtime.
Yeah,
before Homeland.
That's a classic example of like a Showtime show that I just don't. I think I watched the first season a long time ago. Yeah.
All right, so I wrote that one down because that's how we're watching 24. We're about to finish season 1 of 24. I got Megan. We're on hour 18 or 19 now.
24 is so good, man. I wish I could unsee that and go rewatch it.
Now that I'm rewatching it, I forgot a lot of what happened. So
yeah, I watched it twice.
Oh,
because I watched it once and then I watched it with Michelle. And she, it's funny because Michelle doesn't want to get. She's like, I don't know, I won't like that. And then I get her into it, and then she becomes like the super fan. Like reading Facebook posts on Game of Thrones and bull crap, conspiracy theories and all that shit. I'm like,
let's see here. This should tell you something about the Letterkenny show here. James says, if you decide to watch Letterkenny, skip the Fart Book episode in the first season. It's not worth it. So if there's an episode named Fart Book, it's probably...
I still think the greatest show of one of my favorite shows of all time is what's the Kenny Powers show? Eastbound and Down. So good, so classy. I couldn't watch that with Michelle around because she would start yelling at me. Have you ever seen Eastbound and Down?
I've seen a couple episodes. I didn't get into it.
You got to watch the whole thing, man. It's just great.
Ray Donovan suggested the first 4 seasons of Suits.
Yeah.
What do you think of The Office? That's great. I love The Office.
I've seen that.
Yeah, but I've seen it 2 or 3 times now.
If you like Eastbound and Down, you might want
Trailer Park Boys.
It's
Westworld on HBO.
I tried watching that.
Taboo.
No.
Plums. Vice Principals.
Yeah, I've done Vice Principals.
Veep. Did you see Veep? I think I mentioned that before.
Sucks.
You don't like Veep?
I hate that.
But
all those HBO shows, like, they try to be too artsy. I don't know. I don't like
the West Wing. That's what I recommended to you last time. You need to watch the West Wing.
Yeah.
I think you'd like that.
Yeah, it's just so old. It's so hard to, because it's 90s. You know?
It's a little dated sometimes.
Yeah, like The Wire. I'm sure The Wire is good, but I just can't get through, like, the first 6 or 7 episodes. I just can't do it. It's just too dated. I don't know.
All right, so now we got some recommended watching. We'll come back and report next week.
Yeah, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'll get that done.
We have bottled water tastings, and we rate terrible TV shows. That's what we do. Freaks and Geeks. I've heard good things.
Oh, that's a great. Yeah, I wish there were like 10 seasons of that show. That show's great.
The Ranch on Netflix. All right, there you go. Joe's chiming in with that. I appreciate all these.
I tried a lot of these. The Killing is a great show on Netflix. That's a great
that
show. All right, people. I gotta pee. Let's get out of here.
We got 37 projects to go work on.
Yep, I'm going out to shoot a video on Prevost.